Hello, my name is Mohammed Omar, and I'll be presenting about a short movie called A Thousand Roads. A Thousand Roads is a 2005 short film directed by Chris Erie. The film explores the history, culture, and contemporary life of the Native American peoples across the United States. The film also showcases the diversity of Native American cultures and traditions, including music, art, and storytelling. Through its portrayal of the rich cultural heritage and resilience of Native American peoples, A Thousand Roads aims to challenge stereotypes and promote greater understanding and appreciation for indigenous communities. The film threads together four stories, taking us into the life of a stressed out Mohawk stockbroker in Manhattan named Amanda, a young Inupiat girl named Dawn, sent to live with her grandmother in Barrow, Alaska, a Navajo gang member, Johnny, who must find his core values in his reservation in New Mexico, and a Keisha healer in Peru, Don Santos Condori, who's attempting to save a sick child. Each story explores what it means to belong to a specific community. Chris Erie is an American film director, producer, and screenwriter born in Portland, Oregon on September 18, 1968. He is a member of the Cheyenne and Arapaho tribes of Oklahoma. The idea for the film originated from Erie's desire to create a short film that would showcase the diversity of Native American cultures and challenge stereotypes about indigenous peoples. In addition, he wanted to create a movie visually representing the vastness and complexity of Native American experiences. The film presents an imaginative entry into knowing about Native people living in the vast indigenous geography that comprises the Americas. Rather than offering a conventional historical perspective, the film consists of a contemporary short fiction about individuals, grounding them in the emotional truths. The film premiered at the 2005 Silver Docs Film Festival and was subsequently broadcasted on PBS. It received critical acclaim for its sensitive portrayal of Native American cultures and its exploration of the ongoing struggles faced by indigenous communities in the United States. In the beginning of the movie, we can hear the maraca and drums melodies in the background as the narrator guides us through the intro. The film features landscapes from Alaska, the Canadian Plains, the earthen steppes of the Andes, and the streets of New York. The narrator also mentions the Northwestern Hemisphere with the Sailing Canoe Club as they travel from the present to the future by saying each stroke is a victory as they get closer to their goal with their relatives and the tribe members. The movie begins by exploring the world of Amanda, a stockbroker in Manhattan, dressed professionally, navigating New York. The film shows us that she was too busy to have lunch with her friend due to the workload and stress put on her, forcing her to reschedule her lunch to dinner. But still, her meeting her friend was impossible due to a quarter report being due the following day. On the way to work, Amanda noticed a man dressed in a mix of traditional and modern clothes, and as she made her way towards him to make a donation, he notices that she is a Mohawk, and they spark up a conversation in their native language that helped ground Amanda by giving her a sense of home. As the narrator said, "We are a part of a story rooted in the culture and traditions of our people. Even in the rush of the city, our voices are strong." The man then begins to sing, and Amanda's face lights up as they gain strength from each other. The story then shifts to Dawn, a young girl who lived in Seattle with her mother but had to go to visit her grandmother in Alaska due to her mother being called up by the army to serve overseas, forcing Dawn to meet relatives she has never met before. At first, Dawn seemed confused and shy when she first met everyone. Her grandmother mentioned her grandmother mentioned that all her relatives served in the army, including her grandpa, uncle, and now her mother, and that they all came back safely. The uncle takes Dawn to grab whale meat, but Dawn seems confused and disgusted by the act, as she refuses to leave the snowmobile to go help her uncle, as she is used to food being packaged nicely and cooked. But in Barrow, Alaska, whales have been returning to the frozen ocean for over 10,000 years, and the fishermen choose to wait for the whale to pick them instead of hunting it. The uncle then proceeds to grab enough meat for the family and brings it home, proceeding to serve the kids small portions of it, and when Dawn's turn came, she disliked the taste and ran away. After she returns, she warms up to the family, has pizza with her grandmother, and then participates in playing video games with the other kids and her cousins. And at the end of the scene, we start to see that Dawn is staring at the northern lights as the narrator takes us into Johnny's life, where his mother caught him with a pistol and decided to send him to a place on the reservation where the families on the Navajo land send their troubled ones. And a lady does a blessing over Johnny and hopes to turn him into the right path. It then leads to him taking care of the family sheep for several days until his friends came, but on the way to meet them on the road, the sheep escaped, and he had to make a critical decision between his family and friends. And he chose his family, which led to his friends leaving him behind and set Johnny on the right path to take care of his family and stay away from the street life. Lastly, Don Santos Condori, who's a healer that lives in the Andes during the movie. He was tasked to save a kid's life, but failed as the kid's spirit was ready to leave, and he did everything in his power by utilizing the power and strength of herbs and performing prayers. And to the end of the movie, there was a beautiful quote by the narrator that goes, "Whatever our trials were, we're never alone from each other, even our ancestors. We draw the strength we need to carry on." This movie showcases indigenous experiences in different landscapes, showing indigenous peoples' diversity and traditions. For example, when Dawn visited her grandmother in Alaska, the tribe's tradition was whale hunting and eating the meat when it's still raw. Or with Johnny, who had to take care of his family's sheep and developed a great connection with nature as he ran through his people's lands towards the end of the movie and escaped the street life and bad influence of his friends. Overall, the function of A Thousand Roads is to challenge stereotypes, promote understanding and appreciation for indigenous culture, and serve as a powerful tool for education. The film is essential to the ongoing efforts to promote social justice and equality for Native American communities. It has impacted me as a viewer heavily because the movie is very emotional, showing vulnerability in the characters while teaching me about their tribe's traditions and culture. It was a great movie showcasing different experiences and emotions when the characters got to reconnect with their tribes and embrace the culture. The film showcases various cultural identity and expression forms, including music and storytelling. For example, when Grandma and the uncle were talking to Don, when the mother and the tribe members were blessing Johnny and praying for him to have a better and safe life, and with Don Santos Condori, where he performed sacred prayers and practiced his healing skills acquired from generations before him that enabled his city to trust him with their families. And Amanda, where she spoke in her native language after a hectic day at the office and helped re-establish her connection to her mother, tribe, and culture even if she was not present with them. The film also examines the impact of colonization and assimilation policies on Native American communities, including the forced removal of indigenous peoples from their land and the creation of reservations or villages on top of the sacred land, as in the case of Dos Santos Condori. Throughout the film, viewers see examples of Native American resistance in the face of historical and ongoing oppression. The film highlights the ongoing struggles of indigenous peoples for self-determination and justice. Lastly, this piece impacts my understanding of our course themes, as it helps me better understand the themes as they are applied throughout the film, and with my knowledge from this class, I can learn about authentic indigenous movies, cultures, and traditions, and the social issues that are ongoing with the indigenous people.